Coming up on Chicago Bears Now, 3 big prospects visit Hallis Hall here on Monday. We'll talk about who those players are and when they could come off the board, plus some more Bears news and rumors tying in with those prospects as well. So let's dive into it. Let's get to the first big name here, the big one, Marvin Harrison Jr. He took his top 30 Bears visit today, and NFL.com wrote this up on MHJ, saying, after Harrison skipped the scouting combine, Monday's visit is a due diligence meeting for the Bears. Harrison is widely expected to be off the board before Chicago's second selection of the first round. The Bears currently only have 4 draft picks in 2024, so while it's unlikely, in theory, they could trade up to target Harrison, a la the Texans drafting C.J. Stroud and Will Anderson at number 2 and number 3 last season. Now, I do want to say, I don't think trading up is out of the question. I put up a YouTube short on this a little bit earlier today. I think there are scenarios, one in particular that we'll discuss in a second, that could open the door for a trade up. Now, I'm not heavily in the business of trading up to move picks you currently have this year because you only have 4, right? So, I would hate to trade up from 9 and lose 75 and then pick it, say, 1 and 6 and then not again until 122. Would I be willing to do it for the absolute right player like Marvin Harrison Jr.? Yeah, I'm open to it, but I don't necessarily want to come out of this draft with only 3 picks. I don't think that's super ideal. I'd like to have at least 4, if not maybe 5, depending on how things play out. But if Marvin Harrison Jr. is as good as we all think he is, and if the Bears feel the same, and he slides a little inside the top 10, you certainly couldn't argue against the idea, right? I mean, the production's been there. The size and frame is there. The tape is there, the route running, the yards after the catch. I mean, he is a complete prospect. There is no question about it. And look, when you see how the top 10 plays out, this is the scenario. Bears are going to take Caleb Williams. Let's say Washington and New England take Drake May, Jaden Daniels, whatever order. Sounds like Daniels to Washington is gaining steam there. Let's say the Patriots take May. Well, what if Arizona trades down with Minnesota and Minnesota takes a quarterback, or maybe Denver or someone else? I think that's the scenario. First 4 picks are quarterbacks, Williams, Daniels, May, McCarthy, and then the Chargers are sitting there at 5, and they're like, we could take the best non-QB available, or we could add more capital and maybe throw out that trade that I've proposed of, hey, we'll give you the 9th pick, swap for 5, and throw you a future second-round pick next year, either the Bears' own second-round pick or the Carolina pick, which is going to be probably a top 40 selection. Listen, you could certainly talk me into that. Am I trading up a future first for Marvin Harrison? Probably not. Second, though, yeah, I'd probably do that if I was Ryan Poles and the Bears. So let me know, should the Bears trade up for Marvin Harrison Jr.? Type Y for yes, type in for no. I'm a yes as long as it's not a future first-round pick. If that's the cost, I'm not playing ball. I'd rather sit at 9 and just see what happens. Let's get to another receiver here in this NFL draft. Xavier Worthy making his visit as well. We found out this one last night because he threw on his IG story when he was on the plane landing at the Chicago airport there, O'Hare. And how about him tagging Caleb Williams saying, "What's up?" It's kind of funny that even fellow prospects in this draft know what the deal is, that Caleb Williams is going to be the number 1 overall pick. But back to Worthy here, he is an intriguing prospect. I mean, he ran a 4.21 in the 40-yard dash, a NFL Combine record, topping John Ross from several years ago. And look, I know a lot of people are going to look at that and just be like, oh, don't fall into the trap. John Ross was a bust. I think he's more than John Ross, and we'll dive into that here in a little bit. Is Xavier Worthy more than a speedster? Can he be a quality wide receiver in the National Football League? We're going to dive into that possibility coming up. But first, we got to talk about our sponsor, Prize Picks. The action on the hardwood and the ice is heating up with the NBA and NHL playoffs just around the corner. Get in while the action is hot at prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use the code CLNS to get a deposit match up to $100. And it doesn't get any bigger than it does tonight. The national championship game, pick more, pick less. I got a 3-player entry Donovan Clingan, more than 13.5 points. I'm going to go less on Zach Edey, points, rebounds, assists. He's had a huge tournament, but Klingan's going to be a real challenge for him. I think he'll have a good game, but I don't think he'll go off. Less than the 38.5 there combined on those statistics. And then less on Stephen Castle with his points as well. He had a big semifinal game. I don't think he'll do it again in the championship. 10 to win 50 here, 5 times your money on a standard 3-player entry. But listen, you can win up to 100 times your money depending on the different combinations you use. Go check out Prize Picks, prizepicks.com/CLNS. It's the largest and most used daily fantasy sports app in North America because it's easy. You pick more, you pick less, you submit your entries, and if you hit boom, you cash out and you can withdraw your winnings. Link is in the comments and in the description. Download the Prize Picks app today. You look at Xavier Worthy's college stats, and I'm not sitting here saying raw stats determine if a guy can play or not. There's been plenty of guys over the years at different positions that put up big numbers and don't produce. I'm aware of that. But I like the fact that the second he stepped on campus at Texas, he was not always a focal point, but he was a big part of their offense, right? I mean, 900-plus yards, almost 1,000 as a freshman. Dipped a little in 2022, but that offense kind of, bounced around a little bit. His drop rate also wasn't great that year. Bounced back this year, though, and had a great season. 26 receiving touchdowns in 3 seasons, which I'm a big fan of as well. And again, when I'm looking at receivers, I'm like, okay, what do you currently have? Well, you have DJ Moore, you have Keenan Allen. Xavier Worthy is an outside speed guy. Now, ideally, you'd get a true X because I think DJ Moore is best as a Z, Keenan Allen as a slot. Xavier Worthy's probably not big enough to be a true X, but he's versatile. He can play multiple positions at wide receiver. But at least for 2024, all you would need him to do is, hey, go be that speedster. Go be that guy that can take over the top of the defense. Will get you involved in the screen game. But I do think he's more than that. John Ross did not prove to be that. John Ross couldn't run routes at all. I'm not going to sit here and say Xavier Worthy's a route running technician, but he's not just a guy they threw in space either and just said, hey, go generate yardage. Like, he did some things. He ran some different routes, and I think he's capable of doing that. Is he going to run the full route tree? No. Is he going to be Keenan Allen as a route runner? No. But he can run goes. He can run posts. He can run some double moves. You can get him underneath in space as well. Listen, the guy is absolutely electric, and he adds the element of he's a terrific punt returner, which is an area that the Bears have been lacking because Velus Jones could not do it, and I don't think they're going to give him another opportunity to do it. At least I would be surprised if they did. So, look, I'm intrigued. He's a trade-down target. He's certainly not in play at number 9, at least I don't think. But, in the 20s perhaps, or if you end up with the second-round pick, maybe he's in range there. I think he could go as high as 20 or so and as low as, 40-something. I think he'll be in that range, late first, early second, probably what you're looking at, and we'll see if the Bears end up with capital in that range. Subscribe to the channel. Our Bears draft coverage is heating up as more news, notes, and rumors continue to surface leading up to the NFL draft. This is the time to subscribe. Help us out. Support the movement. You subscribe. We provide content. It's a win-win. And guess what? It's 100% free. We got you covered. Subscribe today. Let's go to the defensive side of the ball. Latu Latu making his visit as well. A top 30 at Hallis Hall. He put this on his IG story this morning, making his presence known at Lake Forest in Hallis Hall. Latu's one of the most polarizing prospects in this draft because of his medical history. Look, I'd be lying if I said his neck fusion surgery wasn't a concern, because it is. A player that had a similar surgery was Leighton Vander Esch with the Cowboys, who was a first-round pick a few years ago and was an all-pro as a rookie. He was awesome and was pretty good on his rookie contract. He kind of slowed down a little after that rookie year, but he's now retired 6 years into his career because the neck issues kind of just kept popping up, and now he's done. So, are you going to take a guy at number 9 if you're worried that 5 years in he's going to be done? I don't know if you can. Now, I don't have access to that medical information. I will say this. Latu plays a more premium position than Vander Esch did as an off-ball linebacker, and his production and skill as an edge rusher is pristine. I think if he checks out medically, he is the best pass rusher in this draft. I really do. And if you put him opposite of Montez Sweat, that is fun to think about. There's no question about it. Latu Latu is a technician as a pass rusher. I think he would fit in really well. I think he's scheme-proof. I think he can play 4-3. I think he can play 3-4. I think he's a good enough run defender. I think the Bears are probably in love with his tape. He's polished as hell. Like, if you ask me right now, hey, one game, you need someone to go get after the passer and make a game-changing play, Latu or Dallas Turner, I'm taking Latu. Latu or Jared Verse, I'm taking Latu. But what's it going to be 3 years from now, 5 years from now? Is his neck going to hold up? Is it going to be a problem? Because to me, if you're picking in the first round, you're trying to get a player that you give a second contract to. Like, hey, 5-year rookie contract, plays out, he checks the box of being a good player because that's what you're hoping for in round one. Then you give him another 3 to 5 year deal. That's what you're hoping for. Excuse me, an 8 to 10 year player. If you're worried that he can't give you that, I don't know if you can draft him. If it was second, third round, different story. But I think someone's going to take him high. Will the Bears be that player? I'll say this, bringing him into your building, you get more looks at him medically, maybe do another medical exam, who knows? Man, it's a bummer that medical history is there because he is a damn good talent. So kind of a three-pronged scenario here to talk about these three guys. Which would you rather do? Would you rather trade up for Marvin Harrison Jr. because he's likely not going to fall to 9, type U, if you want to do that? Would you rather trade down for Xavier Worthy because 9's way too early, type D, for trade down? Or would you rather trade down or take Latu at 9? Because I think he could be in range at 9, but probably a trade down, type 9 for Latu. Let's hear it down in the comment section below. And thank you guys so much for watching the latest Bears draft news and rumors, as we will continue to keep you guys updated with everything surrounding this football team. My name is Harrison Graham. Again, don't forget to subscribe. We'll keep you guys covered.